Chaitanyena Tasmai Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadanti Shwapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajiva Sadhvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnava Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Mataji. I think we can go on to the verse as Mataji is joining. In fact, Mataji is asking me for the link. I sent it to our group, but I didn't send it to her. So I've just sent it. But we can start.
So shall I read the verse, Mataji?
Yes,
Thank you.
Please.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please kindly accept my humble obeisances. O God, Srila Prabhupada, Hare Krishna. So we are reading Canto 2, chapter 6, text 37, right?
Yes.
Naham na yujyam yadi hritam gatim vidur na vamana devaha kim uta pare suraha tanmayaya mohita buddhayastvidam vinirmitam chatmasamam vichakshmahe. So word to word is na, neither, aham, I, na, no, yuyam, all you sons, yat, whose, ritam, factual, gatim, movement, viduhu, do know, na, no, vamanadeva, Lord Shiva, kim, what, uta, else, apare, others, suraha, demigods, tat, by his, mayaya, by the illusory energy, mohita, bewildered, buddhayaha, with such intelligence, too, but idam, this, vinirimitam, what is created, cha, also, atma, atma samam, by dint of one's personal ability, vichaksmahe, observe. Translation: since neither Lord Shiva, nor you, nor I could ascertain the limits of spiritual happiness, how can other demigods know it? And because all of us are bewildered by the illusory external energy of the Supreme Lord, we can see only this manifested cosmos according to our individual ability. So let me see the purport, how long? Shall we read the purport also, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, thank you. So the purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. We have many times mentioned the names of 12 selected authorities, Deva Dasa Mahajana, of which Brahma, Narada, and Lord Shiva heads the list as the first, second, and third in order of merit of those who know something of the Supreme Lord. Other demigods, semigods, Gandharvas, Charanas, Vidyadharas, human beings or asuras cannot possibly know fully about the potencies of the Absolute Lord, Sri Krishna. The demigods, semigods, Gandharvas, etc. are all highly intelligent persons in the upper planets. The human beings are inhabitants of the intermediate planets, and the asuras are the inhabitants of the lower planets. All of them have their respective conception and estimations of the absolute truth, as does the scientist or the empiric philosopher in human society. All such living entities are creatures of the material nature, and consequently, they are bewildered by the wonderful display of the free modes of material nature. Such bewilderment is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita 7.13. Tribhir gunarmai bhaver ebhihi sarvam idam jagat. Every entity, beginning from Brahma down to the ant, is individually bewildered by the three modes of material nature, namely goodness, passion, and ignorance. Everyone thinks in terms of individual capacity, that this universe, which is manifested before us, is all in all. And so the scientist in the human society of the 20th century calculates the beginning and end of the universe in his own way. But what can the scientist know when Brahma himself was once bewildered, thinking himself the only one Brahma favored by the Lord? But later on, by the grace of the Lord, he came to know that there are innumerable more powerful Brahmas as well, in far bigger universes beyond this universe. And all of these universes combined together form Ekapada Vibhuti, or 1/4 of the manifestation of the Lord's creative energy. The other 3/4 of his energy are displayed in the spiritual world. And so what can the tiny scientist with a tiny brain know of the absolute truth, personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna? The Lord says, therefore, mohitam na bhijananti mam ebhya param avyayam. Bewildered by such modes of material nature, they cannot understand that beyond these manifestations is a supreme person who is absolute controller of everything. Brahma, Narada, and Lord Shiva know about the Lord to a considerable extent, and therefore one should follow the instructions of these great personalities instead of being satisfied with a tiny brain and its playful discoveries such as spacecraft and similar products of science. As a mother is the only authority to identify the father of a child, so the mother Vedas, represented by the recognized authorities such as Brahma, Narada, and Shiva, is the only authority to inform us about the absolute truth. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Indulekha Mataji, for reading the purport and the translation. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Radhika Mataji. Please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you
Hare
very
Krishna
much.
Mataji.
Thank you for joining in, Mataji. And
Oh,
giving
thank
your
you,
precious
Mataji.
time.
Thank you so much. You've come from Vrindavan and hope you're great for all of us. And
I did.
definitely very,
Without
very
you
glad
all,
to.
I would not have been in Vrindavan. So definitely, I'm really indebted to you. I'm grateful to you. Hare Krishna.
Wonderful, wonderful, Mataji. I'm so happy for you. I'm sure Indulaika Mataji also has plans of visiting Vrindavan soon. So you all devotees kindly keep me in your prayers because I'm not able to physically go there. I'm kind of stuck here. I don't know when I would get that opportunity, but praying, kindly pray that I one day go there and take darshan of the Lordships. With that, we can get started with our 2.6.
Hare Krishna Mataji, sorry. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Please can you accept my humble obeisances, O Guru Srila Prabhupada.
Humble obeisance.
Mataji, you are not stuck. We are near. We can just go together, make a trip.
Oh, I would love to, Mataji. Please just
Just,
somehow make me join you. So I'll be indebted
just
forever.
ask Krishna. Whenever I want to visit any place, like I wanted to go so much to Jagannath Puri, and within months it was arranged. So just think, I want to visit at home. The Krishna will arrange everything. No problem for work, for children, for family, for anything. You just go. Hare Krishna. We'll
Sure,
just pray for
Mataji.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. I would definitely love to join your association. I'm definitely going to be really serious about praying and hope to visit the Bhumi that everybody longs for. Anyways, let's get started with our verse for today and also go over chapter 6 from the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Ajnana-Timirandasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtayata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam ततो जयम् उदीरयेत् शृण्वता स्वागता कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृदयन्तस्तौ हि विदुनोति सुहृत्सदम् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Hare Krishna. It looks like there is quite a bit of sun rays that is coming. I'm not sure if this is very dark, but let me turn on the light. Okay. Hope you're all able to see me and hear me, dear devotees. With this, we are going to get started now. All right. As far as what is happening to this chapter, as you all know, Brahma answers for this question, Yacha, the Lord as the material cause and the efficient cause of the universe. So this is what is being explained in the 17 verses of this chapter, where Lord's subtle sense organ gives rise to Tanmatra and the element. And then the Lord's gross sense organ gives rise to sense Devata and the subtle sense organ of the Virat Roop and the Jeev, which would be discussed in detail from verse number 1 to 17. Now, as far as, obviously the Lord's sense organs and the products, we all see, right? 7 dhatus, it gives rise to 7 Vedic meters. The body of the Lord's organ gives rise to active principles of powers of everything. The hair and the beard of the Lord gives rise to the cloud. The nails gives rise to the lightning, minerals, and metals. The arms, it gives rise to Bhur, Bhuvar, and the Swarga Lokas. The lotus feet, the protection and the bestowal of all desires. The back, the veins, all that, like that, one by one, it is being talked about in the 17 verses. Now, with this, we understand Garbhodaksha's limbs provide the ingredients for the universe. Okay, that is the point to be noted. And this was one of the questions that was asked. What is this universe composed of? And the answer to this question is Lord, Garbhodaksha Vishnu's limbs provide the ingredients for the universe, and that is the cause. And Lord is both the material and the effective cause of the universe, which is being clarified till the 17th verse of this chapter. And now it is also being said, Brahma, Shiva, and all other living entities, whatever existed in the past, present, and the future, is covered by the universal form of the Lord, although the Lord is transcendental to all of them. He extends beyond that universe by 10 fingers. And obviously, the effective cause, the Lord is also acting as the effective cause of the universe by energizing the universe from inside and outside. So now we understand he is the material cause. He is not only the material cause, but he's also the effective cause, and he's energizing the universe from inside and outside. Now, so after this, if you look at the 18th verse, it is being clarified that he's not just the Lord of this material world, but he's also a Lord beyond this material world, that is the spiritual world. And it's difficult to measure his glories. This point is being elaborately talked about, right? It is being like completely clarified of what this exactly means. And now we are going to discuss this part because it's very important, dear devotees, to understand this distinction between Ekapat Vibhuti and Tripat Vibhuti. And what does the Tripat Vibhuti has? It is characterized by what? And we are going to see Acharya's commentaries with regards to this. Okay, it's very important. So I would love you all to pay attention to the subject matter that we are going to discuss now. It's beautifully illustrated by our Acharyas, and hence I really wanted to bring this up. Now, if you were asked this question, right, prove that the material world is the reflection of the spiritual world. Again, what is being clarified in the purport is the generating centers of different parts of the universal form of the Lord. Since the generating parts of the different parts of the universal form of the Lord, and since the form of the Lord is transcendental to this material creation, it is understood that voice, tongue, skin, etc. suggest that the Lord is in the transcendental form, is not without them. Okay. the material voice and energy for taking in the foodstuffs are generated from the Lord. But such actions are but perverted reflections of the original reservoirs. The transcendental situation is not without spiritual variegatedness. This point is clarified in purport number 2.6.1. In the spiritual world, all the perverted forms of this material variegatedness are fully represented in the original spiritual entity. The only difference is that the material activities are contaminated by what, dear devotees? What are the material activities contaminated by? Can anyone say?
3 modes of material nature.
Correct. The material activities are contaminated by the 3 modes of material nature, whereas the potencies of the spiritual world are all pure. Why? Because they are engaged in the unalloyed transcendental loving service of the Lord. Okay. So this is all clarified in 2.6.1. You understood? Okay, the material world is the reflection of the spiritual world. And this is based on what? Purport number 2.6.1. And we also understood this point that, yes, these material activities are contaminated by 3 modes of material nature, as Mataji mentioned. And the spiritual world, all these are pure because they are, every activity is nothing but they're all engaged in the loving transcendental service of the Lord. That's why everything is pure there, as opposed to not being contaminated. Okay, now we have to understand what is Ekapada Vibhuti, Tripada Vibhuti of the Supreme Lord. This is being quoted in purports 18 to 22, dear devotees. This is being talked about elaborately. And now, where are we going to get this details that I'm going to give, I'm going to talk about? This is from Bhagavad Sandarbha, Jiva Goswami writes, Bhagavad Sandarbha, 78th Anuchet. It's being beautifully described. So, there are 4 padas, okay? The first, the 4 padas are there. Of that, 3 are spiritual. And 1 is material. And the spiritual opulence is described as what? Abhayam, Amritam, Shemam. Okay, dear devotees, can you all make a note of it? What is the spiritual opulence described as? It is described as Abhayam. It is described as Amritam. It is described as Shemam. And 1 pada is, that is in the material world, is Martya. After explaining the various products are coming from Hari, that is Garbhodaksha Vishnu, Parikshit is asking, is that much only? Sukadev Goswami is telling, see, material products are, the products are coming from Garbhodaksha Vishnu. Is it, that is total Martyam? Parikshit is asking, that's all? Or you have something more to say? Oh, no. Apart from the material opulence, there is also spiritual opulence. And that is why he brings about the concept of Tripada Vibhuti. Okay. So now, we have to understand these terms, what they mean, right? The terms are Shemam, Amritam, and Abhayam. So some objects is Tripada Vibhuti, and the Lord, he is the controller of that. And he is beyond death. He means, who are we talking about here? Garbhodaksha Vishnu. So in Tripada Vibhuti, first of all, according to Padma Purana, we are going to see what the characteristics of Tripada Vibhuti and Ekapada Vibhuti are. So now this is all being quoted in what? Bhagavad Sandarbha of Jiva Goswami, Anuched number 78, dear devotees. Now, what is Amritam? The spiritual world is Amritam. This is what is being said. How do you say, oh, how is spiritual world Amritam? What is the proof for that? He's giving 2.9.9 as the proof. And in that verse, it is being said, Brahmaji is saying that he did his tapasya and he saw the spiritual world which is desired by the self-realized souls. That means self-realized souls don't like material objects, right? And these people are desiring the spiritual world, means Amritam. That means it should be spiritual. That is why they are desiring. That is why it is Amritam, it seems. And then it says, the second point is, there is nothing beyond this loka. Na yat param. It is the highest bliss. There is no other bliss that is higher than this bliss that we are talking about. See, everybody in this world, what do they long for? I want happiness, you want happiness. Everybody wants happiness. But when you look at the happiness that we talk about, that you get from the spiritual world, can that happiness be matched anywhere? No. That is why it is the highest bliss. There is no other bliss that can equal this bliss. Okay, dear devotees, that is the second point that is being clarified, why this loka is amritam. This loka is beyond any other loka. Don't even compare. Na yat param. It gives you the highest bliss when you go there. Nothing is higher than this bliss that we are talking about. That is why it is amritam. Right? So these are some of the reasons. And there is also one more sloka that is being quoted as a reference. Amritam Vishnu Mandiram. Vishnu loka is Amrita. These are all some of the proofs that we have. One is 2.9.9. And then the second is Amritam Vishnu Mandiram. That is also being quoted. So this loka is Amritam. Now, these are the 3 points that we talked about for Amritam, according to Padma Purana. Now, what is Abhayam? Abhayam means fearless, isn't it? Again, why in this material world do we get fear, dear devotees? Why in this material world do you get fear? Anybody wants to answer?
Hare Krishna Mataji, because we have forgotten Lord Krishna.
Yeah. Okay. We have forgotten Lord. Yes. Anybody else? No problem, dear devotees. The reason we get fear is due to time. Time brings changes in this material world. Okay. Time brings changes in the modes. Changes in the modes are brought about by time. It is the destroyer of everything. We are having so much attachment to so many things. And we know by the time it's going to go away. And then later we get fear. The root cause of fear is time. And in the spiritual world, do we have time? Are we having time in the spiritual world, dear devotees?
No time. Time doesn't exist in the spiritual world.
Correct. There is no time in the spiritual world. That means there is no fear also. The spiritual world is Nachala Kala Vikramaha. It is being mentioned. There is no influence of time in the spiritual world. And that is why there is no fear. And where is the reference? We are talking about reference for each of this. It is being quoted on Srimad Bhagavatam 12.11.19, which says there is no fear in the spiritual world. Again, here, the important point that we need to understand is for each and everything, we are quoting a reference. That is what is the significance of our Acharya's purpose. They are going to give you a reference, and this reference has a reference as well. They're just not simply asking you to blindly accept the facts. Everything is referencing something. Srimad Bhagavatam is Amala Puran. There is no defects. Amala Puran. And when we have a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam, nothing else can matter. Abhayam. We saw Amritam. What is the reason for Amritam? We saw Abhayam. What is the reason for Abhayam? Right? Now, Shemam. Shemam. Shemam means auspiciousness. Right? Auspiciousness. Jivatma is having anartha. What type of anartha? They consider self as 3 modes. Right? And this is due to Maya. Jivatma is having inauspiciousness, anartha, and this is due to Maya. Right? Dear devotees, do you agree with me or not? Atmanam Trigunatmakam. This is the anartha. They consider the self as the three moods. Yes, I am this, I am just that. That's, it could be the quality of the mind that we are talking about. It could be the physical characteristic of the body that we are talking about. But what do you consider yourself as? I consider myself as a fat person. I consider myself as the CEO of the company. I consider myself as a mind, the characteristic of the mind. I'm this kind of person, that kind of person, greedy, wealthy, whatever. But we are not any of that. What are we really? We are really the servants of Krishna. But that is not what we are now in our consciousness, right? That's because we consider ourselves as three modes. And this is due to Maya. And Jivatma is having this inauspiciousness, Unartha, which is again due to Maya. Now, when you ask ourselves this question, there is no Maya. In which place there is no Maya? In whatever place there is no Maya, that means there is no Anartha also. There is no inauspiciousness. And that place is nothing but our spiritual world, dear devotees. That is why it is Shemam. Okay. So these are the 3 points which are being illustrated by our Jiva Goswami in Bhakti Sandarbha Anuched number 78, for which he gives the Padma Puran reference, and Padma Puran has Bhagavatam reference. Now, again, there is this reference for Shemam, that this spiritual world is a place without inauspiciousness. That means it's full of auspiciousness. The reference here is from Srimad Bhagavatam again, 2.9.10. One of the most important chapters of the second canto is 2.9. Second canto, 9th chapter. We have to go through that at least 2 times, dear devotees, to get it into our heads. At least into my head, I have to go over multiple times. But at least we have to put an effort as a group to discuss the concepts that are being talked about in 2.9 several times, because that is the most important chapter. As you see, each and every reference that we are giving for this, Shemam is also quoted from 2.9, right? 2.9.10. And then we saw Amritam 2.9.9. So, how important the second canto with 9th chapter is, I cannot explain you. This is the Chatusloki Bhagavatam that we are going to discuss. And I really want to take a lot of time explaining Acharya's commentary in depth, 2 times at least, dear devotees. I don't know, maybe we will run out of time, but I will try my best to come with enough material to make sure that you are able to understand those concepts that are being presented by our acharyas. This is one of the important chapters that I also wish to really, really understand and apply. So let's take an effort today and pray for it that we are successful in getting that chapter covered in depth. Now, coming back. Now, when Maya will attack, when this jiva is ishadapetasya, that means there is vaimukyam. That means there is Maya there. But if there is no Maya, there is no vaimukyam. Means there is worshipping of Lord. When there is worshipping of Lord, see, as Mataji said, turning away of the Lord is a problem. Jiva turns away from the Lord. And that's why Maya captures you. But now, when there is no turning away from the Lord, when you are constantly engaged in the service of the Lord, where is the question of inauspiciousness? There is only auspiciousness, right? That is what is being clarified here. There is only auspiciousness in a place where we are constantly worshipping the Lord, constantly in the service of the Lord. That is why the spiritual world is always blissful, dear devotees. It's not only blissful, but is also auspicious. Bliss, that kind of bliss, you can never get it anywhere. And that kind of auspiciousness is something that will be seen in the spiritual world, because there is no turning away from the Lord. There is no forgetting of the Lord. You're always constantly engaged in the service of the Lord all the time. As I told you, the characteristic of the pure devotee is what? Anya vilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena krishnanushilanam bhaktiruttama. There is no breakage of devotion in a devotee, in a pure devotee. He never, you may see him as if he's doing some material activity, but in his mind, he's constantly thinking about Lord. He's constantly chanting the glories of the Lord. He's constantly thinking about the pastimes of the Lord. There is no breakage of devotion to him. Dhruva, yes, he's got this material kingdom, opulence, so much wealth, but did he forget the Lord ever? No. This is the significance of a pure devotee. That principle of Anya Abhilashita Shunyam is never broken in them. It's anukulyana, it's favorable and continuous. Right? So we have so many characters in Bhagavatam, which who are all kings and they rule the kingdom. But when it comes to devotion, how can I understand they are a pure devotee? Because the principle of devotion is never broken. They always, even if they perform a yajna, they know in the heart of hearts, Krishna is the Lord. And they think about Krishna, that this sacrifice goes to him. So in this way, the principle of devotion is never broken, dear devotees. This is the most important point over and over I would like to stress, because we all have to aspire for that pure devotion. And that pure devotion can be got only by the mercy of a devotee who has it already. And that is our Guru Maharajas, the Maharajas that you come across in your life. They are the ones who have it. And they are the ones who can give it to us. Isn't it? That mercy can come only from them. Without them, we don't have any hope in this material world. And that is why it's very important, dear devotees, to serve such pure devotees. And serving such pure devotees is once in a lifetime opportunity. We can never forgo that opportunity, be it whatever it takes. Because they are constantly engaged in the service of the Lord. Even if they just look at us, we will get purified. Whatever they can do to us, we are getting purified through that process. And imagine you doing a service for them, how pleased they will be with your service. And because of that, how much mercy can you get? So don't ignore that opportunity. Just to take precedence. That activity should take precedence over all other activities you have in life, for sure. All right. So now, coming back, dear devotees. So we saw the explanations. And now, even in Bhagavatam 11.20.37, Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord is telling also, in order to tell auspiciousness of his abode, he talks about it, how auspicious is his abode in that particular Srimad Bhagavatam verse. And then, so now we have the total 4 padas, right? And all the living entities are covered by these 4 padas. Meaning, the one who is residing or owning in the 4 kinds of opulences, he's having the padas. In these padas, the living entities are there. Either liberated living entities or conditioned living entities, and all are covered. And one on top of one pada, which is out of 3 modes, the 3, one is out of the modes, the other is not out of the modes. The one pada that is out of the modes is this, it is this material world. And the 3 padas which are not out of the modes has the 3 opulences, Amritya, Shema and Abhaya. So now, Ekapath. Okay. Now our acharyas are coming to Ekapath. Why is it said as Ekapath? Because, dear devotees, kindly note this point. I want you all to come back to attention. I know sometimes it can get boring. And we may lose track, but this point is important. Why it is said Ekapath? Because it's out of one annam, that is karma phalam. Because it's out of karma phalam, it is Ekapath. And why it's Tripath? Because it's having three opulences, Abhayam, Amrita, and Kshema. So you have to understand, obviously the verse number 20 is clarifying Tripath and Ekapath is told in a different sense, not in terms of limitedness, right? So now Tripath and Ekapath. Ekapath, why? Because it's out of karma phalam. And Tripath, why? Because it's having three opulences. Is it because of the limitedness of material world and that is being spoken about like Tripath and Ekapath? No. It's told in a different sense, but not in terms of limitedness. Now, another point is being clarified, dear devotees, in verse number 20. Again, this is just by our acharyas. So, when it comes to Tripath, they belong to the Aprajas. And the Ekapath, people, that's one pada, belongs to the Grihamedis. Now, what is the meaning of Prajas? The three padas belong to the Prajas, we say. It means outside of this Prapancha. So, outside of this Prapancha is what is the Tripad, right? And this pada belongs to the Aprajas. And who are these Aprajas? According to the clarification of our acharyas, these people are brahmacharis, vanaprastha, and sannyasi. Whoever is renouncing to get the material pleasure, they go and get the highest bliss. Again, the point is, you may say, yes, these people, brahmachari, vanaprastha, and sannyasi, I mean, the thing is, eventually after they perfect whatever position they are in now, that is not going to give them the highest bliss, even though they have renounced the material pleasure and all that. But the destination that they are going to reach after perfection of their life, they are not going to get birth, provided they go to such loka. Here we have to clearly understand, I am not, in some cases, these people may even go to loka that gives rise to birth, death, old age, and disease. Say, for example, Brahmaloka. Of course, Brahmaloka has this problem. But now, in the case of Aprajas, we are talking about those who have perfected and gone to a prapancha that they would never come back. They permanently go beyond this prapancha. So these three padas belongs to these aprajas when they perfect their lives. And next is Ekapath. Ekapath, again, acharyas are saying these people who are belonging to this Ekapath, they do not follow the vratas of brahmachari. They are going to be in this prapancha because they are entangled in this material world because of the samsara. And they don't want to renounce material pleasure. That's one explanation that is given according to verse number 20 by our acharyas. Now, when it comes to verse number 21, any jiva may go to the two margas, right? One is with avidya, another is without avidya. And the Lord is the cause of this. One is staying due to avidya in this prapancha, and one is not having the avidya, because of which he goes out of this prapancha. And Lord is the cause of both. He's the cause of both. Now, that is being clarified in verse number 21. And as you all can understand, from this Purusha, the Anda, right, the Brahmanda, the Virat Purusha came. And if you look at it, the Lord, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, is the cause of production of the Virat Purusha, and he's entering the body of the Virat, and he's not having attachment for that. Right? As you all can see, Krishna, although Garbhodaksha Vishnu is entering, he's not attached to it, and he's on his own abode. Like for that, an example is given. Say, for example, there is a sun. The sun is there in the planet, but he's entering as different particles in different objects. But he's also aloof from them. because the sun is there in a separate planet of its own. The rays are going everywhere and giving, the rays are spread everywhere in different particles, in different objects. Like that, just as the sun is separate from the rays and heat, the Lord is also aloof from the material objects. This example is being quoted in verse number 22, dear devotees. You're able to understand? That's kind of what is being talked about in the Acharya's purport. Now, one may ask this question: how the paraphernalia needed to worship the Lord is achieved? Can I understand that? This is a common question, right? How can I worship the Lord? How the paraphernalia needed to worship the Lord is achieved? Can you give me some examples to understand that? Yes, our acharyas are giving. Yes, we do have examples to substantiate that. The paraphernalia needed to worship the Lord is achieved by taking the ingredients from the different limbs of the body of the Lord. Example, we have earth. The fruit and flowers are available from the body of the earth, and yet Mother Earth is worshipped by the sensible devotee with the ingredients born from the earth. Right? Mother Ganges is worshipped with the water of the Ganges. Right? We offer water to Mother Ganges herself. It's her water. And yet the worshipper enjoys the result of such worship. That is the thing. See, earth only gives the fruits and flowers. They are available on the body of the earth. And we are offering it back to the earth. Right? Like Ganges is offered back to her. And what do we get in the process? We get the results of worship through such process. Even though the ingredients is given by the Lord himself, we are offering it back to him. What is it that is expected of a devotee? It's just the love that the Lord wants from you, because all of them Lord himself has. You're not offering anything new. You are this person who's worshipping the Lord is utilizing the ingredients born out of the different limbs of the Lord. Worship the Lord. So there is nothing that we are going out of the way and giving something to the Lord. It's not ours, it's his that we are offering. But what is it that expected of a devotee? When he offers this, we have to offer it with devotion. That is the ingredient that we need. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Of course, that is there. But with love and devotion, that is the ingredient that needs to be added to make it work. To be able to get the mercy of the Lord, we have to offer, and that cannot be, what do you call it? You cannot, you cannot imitate that love, right? That love has to come from deep within our hearts. You cannot artificially imitate love, unfortunately. Otherwise, everybody will get points. Yes, I can get 100 points out of 100 out of 100. But we may be there negative in terms of love, in terms of affection to Lord. So that's where we have to positively increase that parameter. And how can we increase? By serving the pure devotees of the Lord. Nothing but serving the pure devotees of the Lord. That is the only way we would be able to increase our mercy points, dear devotees. Nothing but that. And then avoid offenses too, dear devotees. Offense is the way we could easily come down the ladder. It's easy to drain all the points in one offense. But it's difficult to climb up the ladder. To go where you are, you took a lot of effort. But that would just go away like this if you offend a devotee. Be careful with that. It's not worth the effort. It's not worth the effort to offend anybody. That's why it's better to move out. If you are very unsure of what you need to do, just move out. Don't even hesitate. I really don't know about the situation. I have no stance to say anything. I would love to just take a neutral stand here and move out. If you're not sure, just don't be involved. And don't try to speculate with your mind. The mind is going to exaggerate things. It's going to lead you in the wrong direction and want you to commit an offense. So don't be directed by the path of the mind to go towards offensive mentality, dear devotees. This needs to be watched out day in and day out. No substitute for that. Okay? So, we clarified about the paraphernalia needed to worship the Lord, how it is achieved. Now, if you look at the other set of verses, the difference between the opinion of the Mayavadis and the followers of the Brahman is being clarified. That is what the next few things are about. Again, what do the Mayavadis conclude, and what does the what do our devotees say? Why this is being spoken is because, see, now we are having a conversation. Who is having conversation with whom? Anybody? Why this? I need to help you understand why this. I mean,
Narad
Mayavadi.
Muni and is asking questions to Lord Brahma.
Correct. Narad Muni is asking question to Brahmaji. Now, I have to tell you that this discussion about Mayavadis and devotees is coming because, see, Narada is asking question to Brahmaji. And Narada may wonder, oh, why can't I believe these Mayavadis? Why don't I go on the path of them and trust their words? For that to be refuted, we are having a discussion about, oh, you know what? There is a difference between Mayavadis and devotees. They are such and such people. We are such and such people. Hence, you should come to me. I'm a devotee of the Lord. Lord is in my heart, and you have to trust my words, Narada Muni, and not their words. You're able to understand. This is why a contrast between why Mayavadis and why devotees is being spoken in a couple of verses. I know I don't have much time for this. That's why at least I wanted you to sort of understand, okay, here is why there is a difference. Okay, and who should you listen to? Who should you be able to trust? It's me, Brahma. You should trust me, my words, because Lord Hari is in my heart and I speak words of him. And hence, you should trust me and not the Mayavadis. Okay, are you all able to understand so far what the context is, dear devotees? I know I spoke a lot, but everything is important in terms of what I spoke, because it's all coming from our acharyas. And again, with regards to Narada Muni and Brahma is saying there is no Hari in their heart. So whatever they speak, that is also false. That is not truth. This is logic. The Hari is in my heart, and that is why whatever I speak, it is truth. And you should not accept their words. They may say, Tripad is material. You should not accept it. Oh my God, Tripad is not material. That's why I gave you the explanation of what Tripad has. Tripad has these three characteristics. Abhayam, and then auspiciousness. Shemam, Abhayam, and auspiciousness. These characteristics are there in that world. And that is not material. Oh Narada, whatever is said by me, it's not false. I hold Vishnu in my heart and I spoke those words. And whatever I spoke, it's not wrong at all. Ekapath is material and Tripath is spiritual. There is variegatedness in the spiritual world. Mayavadis tell there is no variety. But the spiritual world is also out of Maya according to them. That is not true. You should not accept their words. They are like ignorant and they are like kids. When you look at Brahma, he is an expert in mystic powers and self-realization. Brahmaji, he is worshipped by the Prajapatis. And Brahma is in the disciplic succession of the Vedic wisdom. Brahma is said to be Tapomaya. He underwent tapasya and from him only Vedas come. He is near to the Lord. But when you look at the others, even though the Mayavadis, they are ignorant of the Lord. They are far from the Lord. Their senses are imperfect. They are not in any sampradaya. They are ignorant. They are blind. Oh, they tell, oh, I know everything about the Lord. Brahma says he is unable to understand the Lord. The followers of Mayavadis, they say, oh, we know everything about the Lord. But Brahma, he says, yes, I'm unable to understand the qualities of the Lord. Brahma is true. Why? Because he's carrying Hari in his heart and he's speaking. But Brahmayavadis, their conception is wrong because they don't have Hari in their heart. According to them, Tripad Vibhuti is anityam. Material is temporary because it's coming from Jiva's avidya. According to the followers of Brahma, Tripad Vibhuti is spiritual and it's not coming from Jiva's avidya, but it's coming from the Lord himself. And Ekapad Vibhuti, that is also coming from the Lord, according to the followers of Brahma. But Mayavadi say Ekapad Vibhuti is coming from Jiva's ignorance. That's also wrong. In this way, there is a contrast, dear devotees, of what the Mayavadis believe and what the followers of Brahman are. Now, the question may come, oh, what is this you're saying? Brahmaji is not able to understand the opulence of the Lord? Why are you saying that? The answer is, Brahmaji is telling he is perfect in all ways, but still he does not know all the opulences of the Lord. Because why? That is being clarified here, devotees, in this purport. It's a beautiful explanation. Because he's saying that myself, Brahma, is created by him, the Lord also. That is why I'm not able to understand Lord's glories, dear devotees. He's telling to Narada, I don't understand his glory because he's the creator of me also. Even I don't know the creator of me, that is Garbhodakshay Vishnu per se. Garbhodakshay Vishnu comes from Karnodakshay Vishnu. Karnodakshay Vishnu comes from Sankarshan of the second Chaturvyuga. That comes from first Sankarshan. The first Sankarshan comes from Narayana. Narayana comes from Balaram. And Balaram comes from Lord Krishna. So I don't even know my creator. What to speak of the creator of the creator of the creator? Is it possible for me to know? But the foolish Mayavadis, they tell that they know the creator of the creator of the creator of the creator. This is completely nonsense, I say. And they are trying to know Bhagavan's Bhagavatvam. How can they understand? Because every jiva has, they tell Bhagavan's Bhagavatvam is due to jiva's avidya. That shows they are blind. This is what Brahmaji tells Narada Muni. Now, there is a discussion again about not knowing the limits of the Lord's opulences. How the sky is not able to know its boundaries. If someone is not knowing the sky flower, it is not destroying their sarvagnyata, meaning all-knowing. If I say, I don't know about the qualities of the Lord, what does that mean? For that, an example is given. Meaning, if, when Purvapakshi tells, if we say that Vyasa and Brahma are saying Sarvagnya, that means they are all-knowing. Now, they don't know about Bhagavan. How can they be all-knowing? One may have this question. Purvapakshi means an opposition party is coming into play and getting answers. Oh, if you're telling he's Sarvagnya, he should know everything. Brahma is Sarvagnya, all-knowing. How can he not know about Lord's opulence? For that, an example is given, dear devotees, by our acharyas. Very, very beautiful example. See, a sky is not able to know its own boundaries. If someone is not knowing a sky flower is not there. If someone is not knowing about the sky flower, it is not going to destroy their all-knowing capability. That is, it is not going to destroy their sarvagnyata. If someone does not know the limits of the Lord, it cannot be that he is not sarvagnya. It's impossible to see the sky flower. Like that, it's impossible to see Lord's power because it is unlimited. Right? That is why it does not affect their sarvagnyata. This is what is being. Hope you're able to understand, dear devotees, what I'm trying to say. I know it's completely dark. Completely sun is covering us today. I'm sitting in a place where there is sunlight coming in. And I like to sit down. That's one of the things. I don't know how to make this. It looks like I'm covered by snow. What I can see. Oh my
You are
God.
radiating. You are radiating. So that's
Oh
okay.
my God. Completely invisible now. Anyways, so dear devotees, hope you understood my point about Lord Sarvagnyata. I mean, meaning the Sarvagnyata, if you say all knowing and still you do not know about Lord's power, it shows that Lord's power is unlimited. Okay. And like how sky flower is impossible to see, like that, even though your Sarvagnyata is not broken, because Lord's power is unlimited. So there is no way, even Lord himself don't know his own powers. Imagine, dear devotees, how can a created being know his powers when he himself doesn't know what a boundary is? So that is what is being clarified beautifully by our acharyas here. With this, we will stop, dear devotees. Hope you understood all the context that we discussed today. And I really had a great time discussing about the purports from our acharyas. So thank you so much for patiently listening. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sandubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrind ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to our acharyas. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Don't think I can do anything here.
We can see you perfectly now, Mataji. Hare
My
Krishna.
gosh, it's impossible, Mataji. I am not able to do much. I have to go to the other side of the room. Okay, go ahead, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So, in the spiritual world, the Tripad Vibhuti, you said there is no Maya. So that means there are no modes of material nature. So that means there is no mind, intelligence, and ego.
Correct.
Okay.
These are all the, I mean, with regards to, they have all become spiritualized, Mataji. That's what everybody says. The ego will be there in the sense of true ego. Your identity is not lost. You are still a person there, but everything is spiritual. Everything is spirit transcendentalized. Everything is spiritualized. When it comes to emotions, you'll still be having spiritual emotions. So that world is completely different. Even in this, while in this material world, our body is getting spiritualized. And as you know, in many cases in Bhagavatam, we even go with the same body to the spiritual world. In the case of Dhruva Maharaj, we see that happen. So that's what is the point. It's all spiritual when it comes to the spiritual world. Even if ego is there, that ego is transcendental. It's spiritual.
In the material world, the mind is governed by Maya, while in the spiritual world, you'll still have the mind, but it will be transcendental. You'll be thinking of various activities that you have to do for Krishna and the services that you are rendering. The mind, even the mind will be spiritualized.
Yes, Mataji. All these organs will be spiritualized. I mean, your identity will be there. You have your own, because otherwise it's like merging into the Lord's body, right? I mean, you have your own identity, and that identity is completely spiritual. In some bhav you are. It could be that you are in a spiritual, the Dasi bhav or Sakya bhav or Manchari bhav, whatever that bhav is. You have taken that that original swarup is revealed to you, and you are there serving in that bhav. Imagine, that is what is your condition. You're in that bhav. You got the designation already. You know that you are so and so, and you are serving the Lord in that mood, in that capacity. It's beyond our visualization, Mataji, but that's what it is. It's completely. Mhm.
Thank you.
You got
you
your
for
own
that.
identity. Yeah, sure, Mataji.
Thank you for that
So
clarification.
for that, we have to transcend to the Raganuga Bhakti from Vaidhi Bhakti. Then when that transition happens, you know your identity like Indra Prabhu, right? he had this Manjari Bhav, and that was so explicit because he bought the shoes and some pairs. So we had some exchanges with dear devotees, and that clearly proved that he transitioned from Vaidi to Raganuga, and then slowly he was going to go to the spiritual world. So this can happen while we are here in this material world, and then slowly we transition.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Are there any other questions or comments? Yes, Madrupa Mataji, kindly ask your question.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna Mataji, we can't hear you. Maybe you can write your question in the chat. We are not able to hear you, Mataji. Any other
can you hear me now?
questions? Slightly, but kindly go close to your device, please.
Okay. Now?
Yeah, this is much better. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I was just asking, so who is time personified in spiritual world? Like in Yamnaji's Yamuna river, Bhakti Devi is Tulsi Maharani. So time personified is Krishna himself or Yamraj?
In the spiritual world, Mataji?
Yeah, in the material world also. Who is time personified in material world?
So Kala is the time factor, right? Kala it can come in the form of anything. It can come in the form of Yamraj. It can come. I mean, Kala is the time. The time factor is, as you watch through the day, we are affected by different modes. Like early in the morning, we have a very good sattvic mode, and then afternoon, it could be that just the factor of time itself is him, Krishna. He is the controller of the time. And he could be in the form of Yamaraj, as you say. Yes, he's fear personified controller, of course. But it can take various rupas, just not Yamaraj alone. Because some people, they are so attached to certain things, and when they let go of that thing, that they feel really bad about it. And that is factor of time. Can you say it's Yamaraj? No, I don't have fear of that, but I have fear for something else. And that's due to time again. So he could be in any form, Mataji, when it comes to material world. Time personified, but that's Krishna himself.
Okay, thank you.
Sure,
Hare
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, are there any other questions or comments?
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for this nice class that you have given. So many things that we have to understand. I hope Krishna post this class again, because I would like to listen to it. Sorry.
Mataji, first I have to thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak on Tuesdays. Without you, I don't think I'll be able to speak.
Not me. It's like I need more time to assimilate whatever you have said very nicely. And this one time is not enough for me. For me, I don't know for others. And also, Mataji is talking about time. In Bhagavad Gita, I think it's 11:32, I think. Lord Krishna says, Kalusmi lokas shaya. He says, Kalusmi, I am Kal. He is Kal in the spiritual world, which doesn't have any effect there. But here, in this material world, it does have, everything has effect here. So when we see ego also, here everybody has false ego. There we have the true ego, because our ego, our mood, our constitutional position is to be the servant of Krishna. But here everybody wants to be masters. This is the difference. So Mataji, with only one word, with a Shema, or with the Tripada or Ekapada, with one word, we can give classes like a whole day, a whole week maybe. But we need to have the time, because our time is too limited. So please, I would request that you come back again with the continuation of this verse, because this verse is not completed according to my understanding.
Yes,
so please,
yes. I know, Mataji.
Thank you so much.
I wish, I mean, there's so much acharyas have given. I cannot rush. I need more classes. I am deprived. I try to at least give a broad overview, but it's just impossible to cover everything. But I will certainly cover in the next class. I don't want to live the subtle points that's being talked about in the commentaries as well. That's why I need, when I go through set of verses, I take some time and not rush through the material, or just not talk about one verse and be done with it. It's just, I want everything to stay in my heart as well. So I need that flow, I need the continuity. But we will make an effort, Mataji, especially for chapter number 9. I want to take an effort. I don't know, Kritika Mataji, how it's possible, but we should dedicate number 9 session, I mean, at least chapter number 9. I would like to talk as much as possible of what acharyas have given and try to go over elaborately. Let's see how that goes. But if not, I will try to record some offline sessions, and you can all maybe make use of it at your free time. But I would appreciate if you can do that in your free time. I'll try my best to do whatever has to happen to kind of amalgamate and bring everything together from chapter 9 perspective. Even this one I will try, Mataji. It's just that I don't have as this time is just taking away my time. But
the
yeah,
kala is taking you away. Mataji,
but I'm
please, Mataji.
hankering that I retire now and I be able to dedicate every time of mine to Krishna alone. But even that, it has to be sanctioned by Krishna, because maybe I have to learn something from a material perspective. That's why Krishna is giving me this engagement to learn. That's how I take it. Or I don't know if I have committed some aparat. Sometimes I feel, why am I not
No,
able to
Mataji,
get
you know
retirement?
what? You know what? At your own time and your own pace, please just record and then post it for us, because
Sure.
our time is limited and everything is linked. If you start explaining one word, so it's linked
Yes.
to everything. So you go around, right? And sometimes we miss a point also. So it's very nice, Mataji. Thank you so much. We have
Sure,
exhausted our
Mataji.
time. So
I'll take your
Thank you.
advice. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Indulekha Mataji, since your mic is on, kindly close the session for us today.
So again, thank you so much, Mataji, for your valuable time and knowledge. So I will request everyone to please kindly unmute and let's chant the Mahamantra for the glorification of Radhika Kasturi Mataji. Please, everyone. Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Parubhyasya kripa sindubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णवीन की जय, शिला प्रभुपाद की जय,
Jai.
राधिका कस्तूरी माता जी की जय।
All glories to the assembled
हरे
devotees, all
कृष्णा,
glories to
हरे
Srila
कृष्णा,
Prabhupada, all glories to
हरे
Guru Maharaj.
कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna. Thank you, dear
Thank you, माता
devotees.
जी, thank you, हरे
Thank
कृष्णा।
you. Hare Krishna.
माता
See
जी,
you all soon.
that माता जी who used to do the what was she doing? She was telling at the end, she was just doing a kind of a resume of the class. She is not attending anymore.
She is, she is not attending anymore, but she will, I think she is not feeling very well, but she will,
Okay.
Pramila Mataji's, but she will
Yes,
resume
yes.
soon.
Okay. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.